Hey everyone, welcome back to Off the Boulevard. It's our spring break show.
Yup. I'm one of your hosts, Jasmine.
And I'm Matthew.
Today we have a jam-packed episode, kind of short, but that's okay because it's spring break.
Yeah. First off, we have news with Becky and David.
And then what's poppin'? Pop with Tamaya and Matt.
And after that, we have sports with Jake and Corey. Stay tuned after the break and we'll get you your news update.
Not too fast, but not too slow.
Okay. It's done.
Welcome back to Off the Boulevard. This is your news update. United Airlines has had a rough week with several dog-related incidents creating some very bad press. Last Monday, a passenger's dog was trapped inside of an overhead bin for more than 3 hours and resulted in the dog's death. The passenger who owned the dog says that a flight attendant told them to put the dog in the bin that is typically used for carry-on bags. According to U.S. Department of Transportation report from February, 18 animals died while being handled by United last year. A day later, United added to their problems by accidentally shipping a German Shepherd to Japan when it was supposed to be sent to Kansas. When the owner of the German Shepherd went to pick up their dog, they found a Great Dane instead, the dog that was supposed to go to Japan. United will be sending the German Shepherd back with a human escort to ensure its safe return, and it was scheduled to be flown into Wichita last night.
Stephen W. Hawking, one of the most impactful physicists ever to walk this earth, died on Wednesday at his home in Cambridge, England. He was 76 years old. Hawking was a leader in exploring the science of gravity and black holes, furthering the intelligence of the human race into what we cannot see. He created a turning point in modern physics while suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease most of his life, but was still able to question and learn about the cosmos through his wheelchair. His name will go down to have innovated this world like no other.
A contestant on American Idol found more than he was looking for during his audition when superstar Katy Perry surprised him with a kiss. Benjamin Glaze, a 19-year-old cashier from Oklahoma, attempted to connect with the judges by telling them that he had never been kissed. After hearing this, Perry motioned for Glaze to come over to the judges' table and give her a kiss. But when Glaze leaned in to kiss her on the cheek, Perry swung around and kissed him on the lips, sending him stumbling backwards. While some boys might have been grateful for this opportunity, Glaze had a different opinion, saying, "I was raised in a conservative family and I was uncomfortable immediately. I wanted my first kiss to be special."
Less than a month ago, students were running for their lives at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School due to the school shooting that occurred. Later that week, instead of running, they walked, protesting against the gun laws in the United States. High schools from all over the country, such as Chicago, Atlanta, New York, Columbine High School, and many more walked with them in this protest to acknowledge the danger of gun violence. Kids are fighting for their lives and the government must find a solution. These shootings keep occurring and our culture and youth life is being affected by it. This protest has grown a huge spur in the nation. Thanks for watching our Off the Boulevard news update. We'll be back.
Shop local in the heart of the city, you support the people that make our community thrive. The money you spend here stays here, in this place we call our home. Lawrence, Kansas, where there's good old-fashioned hometown pride. Eat local, drink local, shop local.
Hey everyone, welcome back to What's Poppin'. I'm Matthew, and this is Tamaya.
Hey.
And this week, we watched A Wrinkle in Time. First off, we're going to show you guys the trailer.
Imagine 91 billion light years traveled like that. The time
In your full space.
We wrinkle time.
has come.
Is it real?
Do you really want to know?
On March 9th, the mind-bending adventure comes to life.
You're going to be tested.
Be a warrior. A Wrinkle in Time. Rated PG. March 9th.
So, what did you think of that movie?
I thought it was an amazing movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've never read the books.
I
I'm
read
not
it
a
back in
big-
5th grade.
Yeah, so apparently it was a book, and I didn't know that. But when I went to the movie, I was very confused for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But like as I started to catch on, I was just like, this is a really good movie.
Yeah, it's a bit abstract, but first off, what about that cast?
I thought it was an all-star cast,
Yeah.
honestly, in full definition, all-star cast.
There were people like Oprah, Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine, Mindy Kaling, Levi Miller, who played Calvin. There was Gugu, who she was in Cloverfield Paradox last week.
we talked about last
She was
week,
actually the mother in this movie. And then there was Storm Reed, who played the main character Meg in this.
Exactly. I think so. There were some really good up-and-coming actors and actresses in this movie. Starting off with Storm Reed.
Yeah, those
was
young
amazing.
characters, they played that
Wow.
amazingly.
And Levi Miller.
Yeah, but I've never
I
heard of
think
him before,
he's
but-
going to get an Oscar one day. I don't know when that's going to be,
Hopefully.
but it's going to happen because he was an amazing, he was an amazing little kid, and I was just like, what the? He's going off.
Yeah.
He's going off.
But like The Wrinkle in Time, what it has to do is the movie is there's a mother and a father who they're like really big up scientists, and they're busy like trying to find a way to get like really fast space travel. But like the way they found is supposed to be something that's like so abstract it's not possible to like travel
Exactly.
through it.
Yeah.
And somehow the father gets lost, and basically they're supposed to be rescued by their kids.
Yeah. So like, in the beginning though, like when the project was coming up and everything, a lot of people made fun of it because of course the whole idea sounded ridiculous.
Well, it's been adapted before, and I will say it is a hard movie to adapt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of abstract like ideas and terms that they have in the book, but I feel like for what it was, they adapted it really well.
Yeah.
And like I know one of the big things they talk about is like a tesseract, which is like traveling where basically like you pinch the fabric of space and time together to travel.
Yeah.
And like I have no idea how you like would have like put that in like a real sense, but I think they like did it in a physical sense like pretty well in the movie. So
Yeah.
it was really good, and that again goes into special effects.
Yeah, the special effects I feel like were really good. Like, I mean, there was one part where Levi Miller goes by and touches Oprah's face, but Oprah's like a giant god deity.
Yeah.
And so they're like Levi's
Yeah.
touching her face, and she's just like, oh yeah, that's my face.
And
we're
then
like,
there were
okay.
also those planets that they traveled to like while trying to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And like it looked like Earth, but it was like really interesting because there were
Yeah.
like really neat twists and like really neat gravity like effects.
I always feel like when they like in any movie when they go to like some extra planet, like or like in Interstellar when they went to all those planets, I always feel like it's in like Ireland or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, you can't get much more beautiful
Yeah.
than like Ireland.
I
or
know
something
compared to
that.
like Annihilation, I love the ethereal and like space aspect of
Yeah,
this movie. It was
yeah.
just confusing in Annihilation, but like they adapted it so
Yeah, they
well.
did it really well.
What do you think about the costumes though?
I thought, okay, so the costumes were kind of weird, but they were like good.
Because they
It
played
was a
with the
good
ethereal
weird.
aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good, like it was extra, like every single one of the like,
Yeah, like
what
Oprah.
were they called?
Mrs. Witch, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. What's It.
Yeah, so every single time that they had a costume, they were extra, like super extra, but like it made perfect sense for their character.
And they were extra, but they were like beautiful looking
exactly
costumes.
And then when Oprah had the I don't know why, but it like reminded me of Beyonce. Like she had like the wig
Yeah,
and it was
it
blonde.
was
and It
good.
was beautiful. She was beautiful.
Overall, though, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was a really good movie. What about you?
I thought
I know you saw it a
Yeah.
while ago. I just went to go see it like 2 days ago.
I thought it was really good, and I know it's part of a series. So, although it's a hard movie and it's a hard series to adapt, I would be interested to see if they possibly decided to try and go on.
Yeah.
Because there is some big like thing they're supposed to battle, and it's supposed to go on in the books, but they don't really like go into that in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So next week though,
Next week we're gonna be
doing Love, Simon.
Yeah.
We're doing Love, Simon.
I saw that last night and it was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Be prepared because I'm definitely going to the movies and I'm taking the Love, Simon filter because it's been on for like weeks.
Yeah.
That Love, Simon Snapchat filter has been on for weeks, and I'm like, okay, Snapchat, I'll go see the movie. Calm down.
And it's got a soundtrack, and there are some up and coming artists that like I'm excited to talk about.
We're really excited about this one. We hope you're really excited too because it's going to be a great movie.
We're also going to be putting out a poll for you guys to help us decide our movie that we're going to be reviewing after Love, Simon. So stay tuned on the Twitter for Off the Boulevard, and we'll show you guys that.
The tweeters.
Yeah.
On the tweeters.
Well, we'll see you guys after the break for sports.
Bye.
Welcome back. I'm Corliss Minkoff.
I'm Jacob Cole Kaufman.
And here we're going to talk about the facts. We're going to start with a little March Madness, then we're going to dabble a little bit some more in March Madness, then we're going to close with some March Madness. But here, let's start with KU versus Penn. Great game. Jake, I want to know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so going into this game, people were a little nervous about Penn, even though they were a 16 seed. They were the highest rated 16 seed since 1985, I believe. KU ended up winning the game by 16 points, but still it went with some struggle early on in the game. They were down 10 at one point, and Bill Self even said they were only going to use Udoka for emergency reasons, and they did find themselves in an emergency where they had to use him.
Yeah, and I think, it was an interesting game. We had a highlight reel playing now, but I don't know, it just felt like a weird game to watch for me because it's still, even though Penn is a good team and we can recognize that, we still have to remember that they're a 16 seed. And playing them just felt very odd. We were trailing by 10 in the first half, in the first 10 minutes, only shooting 1 out of 8 threes. It just looked like we were playing just very inconsistently. And I don't know what to chalk that up to.
And we've really been seeing that this whole season, though, which is why when I was watching the game, even though given we were down 10 at one point, I wasn't worried how the outcome was going to be because at the end of the day, it's still a 16 seed going up against a 1. And given one day, it probably will happen where a 16 seed beats a 1, but it was not going to happen today, and KU showed that.
Yeah, but that's still what's so frustrating about it is I think that if a 16 seed ever were to beat a 1 seed, it would definitely be KU because KU is the one that always chokes at the weirdest times. And so what's so frustrating about watching this team all the time is that we get these interesting, during the season itself is very frustrating because we never know exactly what it's going to lead to later in the year. And so, of course, we were suffering at the beginning of the year, but then finally we pulled through. But, I mean, you can never really know exactly what you're going to get out of this team, and that's what makes it so frustrating for me to watch as a fan. I don't know how you feel about it.
No,
but
and
I don't know if we're ever going to be able to solve that problem.
If it really is a problem. We saw in the second half this KU team started to pull away, but then they always seem to play down to their opponent, and they showed that against Penn. Penn was able to come back later in the game, cutting the lead to 4 at one point, but then KU was slowly able to gain that lead back.
Yeah. I've talked enough about this. I want to move on. So now that we've moved on about our higher seeds like Kansas, all of our higher seeds advanced in this round. It was Kansas, Duke, Gonzaga, and Tennessee all moved on to the next round. What's more interesting now is our upsets. We can start talking about with the Buffalo Bills versus the Arizona Wildcats. Shut them out 89-68, a double-digit lead. Jake, what do you think? What were your main takeaways from this game?
Yeah, going into this game, I definitely did think Arizona was going to come out with the win. But we were talking earlier. Arizona had a lot of pressure on their shoulders going in this game with everything they've had to deal with throughout the season through scandals coming out with paying players, with coaches, assistant coaches, and it really not a big surprise to me now when you put all those factors into place that Buffalo was able to come out with this win. Watching this game, it just showed Buffalo just showed that they wanted this game more than Arizona.
But I don't think that's necessarily true because we're talking about wanting it more. I think that Arizona was really trying to rally around some of these shortcomings that they had throughout the year. And you mentioned that before. We can run through them line by line, though. They had to fire their assistant coach, Emmanuel Richardson. They had been trailed all season by a federal investigation into their basketball program for bribery. Sean Miller had to temporarily take a leave of absence after he was caught discussing $100,000 in a payment to recruit a top freshman. And then finally, they had another player, Alonzo Trier, fail a drug test. It just was moment after moment of these shortcomings and corruptions and scandals, and it just didn't look good on the team. I think that they were trying to rally around that, find some type of point of redemption, but in reality, all that they found was that they really didn't deserve that win to begin with, because the entire year they'd just been plagued by corruption and scandal.
Yeah, but Arizona really had no answer for this Buffalo team. Buffalo was able, their point of attack of this game was make Arizona shoot from beyond the arc, and they did. Arizona 2 for 18 for 3, while Buffalo 15 for 13. So that alone, when that happens, when you're not hitting from 3, that's pretty much the story of March. If you have one cold night, you're toast. You can call it done.
Yeah. Next in our season of upsets, we also have Loyola versus Miami Hurricanes. It was a 64-62 buzzer beater by Loyola. We have the clip of that shot as well, if we can play that. Wow.
That was
that
not
wasn't
the
it.
buzzer
That's
beater.
our highlight reel. Let's move on. But this is a highlight reel that we have going on here. I think that was so interesting about it was that this whole game Loyola was really playing very well offensively. They weren't necessarily performing at the same level as like a 1 seed like KU, but they were still they were 38% overall in 3-point percentages, 47 overall in total field goals. How do you think that this win chalked up to the rest of the tournament, Jake?
Going into this game, Loyola was talked about. They are a good team. How many wins did they have? 28 wins in regular season. 28-5 in the season, and it really went to show that this is a good team. They have been a good team in the years past, yet it was their first appearance in the tournament since 1985. But when you're in these Mid-American conferences, the only way you can make the tournament is if you win your conference tournament. Lucky enough, Loyola was able to do that this year, and they were able to show us a good outing against Miami. And I really think they're going to show us a good outing against Tennessee.
But honestly, I think it's surprising that they haven't even made a tournament appearance since 1985. You know me. I'm a big Loyola fan. I've been following them for decades, and I'm really into the game. And I think that Loyola deserves more of a place in this tournament than they've gotten in the past. I think part of the reason they haven't been able to make it is just because of the teams that they're usually playing. Obviously, you said they've never won their conference before, but I think that if they were in like something like if they were in like the Big 12, for instance, they might have more of a shot at being able to make a tournament before.
They could.
But obviously, they haven't been able to do that yet. Whether they're able to beat Tennessee, I think is more debatable. I don't know. How do you think that they're going to be able to beat Tennessee?
I think if they can do what they did against Miami, if they have a good attack, if they have a good defense, I think they can very well upset this Tennessee team. In my bracket, I have them upsetting Tennessee. But that's what you got to look at in March Madness. It's all about upsets. You really never know what's going to happen. And this, like this game right here with that buzzer beater that's coming up. Yeah, this missed free throw is what set it up.
This is where you get that final shot.
Right here, we have a pass to Ingram.
And boom! and that's a buzzer beater that we have. That's amazing. Honestly, I think this is what we have. This is what March Madness is all about.
It's all what March Madness is about.
It's not just about like the buzzer beaters, but it's about these upsets. We have teams like Loyola, haven't been in the conference for this long, and look at how they're able to get a win like this. It's just, it's inspiring. Forget Arizona. We have Loyola.
And then with that, KU tomorrow plays Seton Hall. I have another great game coming up. Hopefully we can get in the Sweet 16, and hopefully when we return from spring break, we have a Final Four appearance coming up.
I'm looking forward to it, Jake, but I don't have anything else to add. What about you?
Rock chalk it up. Let's beat Seton Hall, baby.
Rock chalk it up. That's Off the Boulevard. I'm Corliss Minkoff.
I'm Jay Cole Kaufman.
And them's the facts.